All right, all right. I think you've guessed it. This video will be about money. um, let's talk some more about money. Okay. How about this? Ways of getting money. This is a big one. So I will say that there are so-called illegal ways of getting money, and then there are legal ways of getting money. And then within legal ways, there are illegal ways of getting money. uh, there's people who know scams, man. They know scams. I would say that Canada is one of the biggest scammer countries in the world. Allow me to explain. So, this idea was brought to me by a customer. I don't remember anything about the customer, what they looked like, who they were, but it was a customer that brought up this idea to me. Now, what happened was that at this Best Buy retail job that I had when I was 16 years old, we were pushed and trained and pushed and encouraged and pushed to sell what they call PRPs and PSPs. That was performance replacement plans and performance savings plans. These plans would give you insurance on any electronic product or most electronic products. For me, it was stereos because I wanted to get away from the whole media and gaming section, and the only section part of media that wasn't that or wasn't music or anything was the like speakers. Sorry, I forgot what you called it, stereos and speakers. At that time, this is a long time ago. This was stereos and speakers. This is probably 15 years ago. 15 years ago. So they had stereos and speakers. So they had those plans for that. So the idea was that you would buy the product, let's say for $100, and all, the plans on every product was different. So maybe it might cost you maybe $20 to get that plan, which would last 1 or 2 years, right? Now, one day this customer came in and we had a conversation, and they basically told me that Canada was the nation of insurance plans, aka scams. Right? Canadians pay the highest in auto insurance, they pay the highest in home insurance, they pay the highest in cell phone bills. And the thing is that, and what else? We said home insurance, car insurance. What else did they? Okay, any kind of business insurance, or any insurance that covers fire safety, for example. Canadians pay the most when it comes to these things. Not only do they pay the most, Canadians are the most likely to buy, and they do buy the most often. Which I don't really understand, but in other words, it is scamming. I'll tell you about a common car insurance scam. So I got a mechanic that's into this scam with me. Now what I do is I get into an accident that I claim is not my fault, and I'm an expert, by the way, at claiming accidents that are not my fault. I am an expert in turning an accident that is into my fault into the fault of the other person, and the police officer will recognize and will give me the benefit of the doubt because he is also in on these scams. You see, the police gets the least commission in scams as possible, whether it comes to prostitution or whatnot. The police provides legal protection to people based on illegal activity so that they can get a cut. Typically, the police gets the smallest cut. I don't know if they know this or not. They typically get the smallest cut. Now, what the scam is that I have a mechanic and a mechanic company that's in on the scam. So what we do is I'm an expert at turning something that was supposed to be my fault to something that is somebody else's fault. Now, what's going to happen is that I claim, okay, the police officer backs me up. He gives the other guy a careless driving charge and or careless driving ticket and puts me as the one that's good and the other guy who's at fault. Now I'm at fault, or the other guy's at fault, even though they claim that this guy was speeding, and the cop doesn't care, right? He's gonna do it regardless. The guy, his girlfriend, his buddies, everybody's in on it, right? Now, what happens is that he gets a claim and he goes, well, even if there's no damage, he goes, well, now I have to totally, this is what they call it. They call it, I got to open everything up, right? Now, I got to tell you, honestly, I don't know about this scam in particular. I didn't have a company that I went with. I went with the dealership of the car company of the car that I had. So specifically dealing with that particular car. But I will tell you that what people will do is that they'll claim that the damage was way more than it was. Okay, the labor that went into it was like 12 hours. And literally the claim for something that costs about $150 to fix, the claim is about $10,000, $10 to $15,000. Now, the mechanic will pay the guy $2,000. The mechanic will keep. Everybody gets an earn. All right. The rental car company that they got the rental from, they pay. I had personally known of a guy who was working in a rental car company who scammed regularly. Insurance scam gets a lot of people a lot of money all the time. And the funny thing is, the Canadians pay the highest fees when it comes to car insurance. But this gentleman, this customer, told me that, and he gave me very little explanation. But he told me that Canada was the country for insurance, aka insurance scams. Car insurance scam is big, but imagine if how much a car is worth. Imagine how big home insurance scams are. Everybody knows that if you accidentally burn your house down and your house is worth $1 million, 1.5, $2 million. You're getting a big check from the insurance company. And again, who's in on it? The firefighters. We're part of the whole emergency thing. When people are claiming back problems and things like that, and people have done this, by the way, and I know directly, people will claim they'll get hit, nothing's wrong. They'll claim that they have back problems. They're collecting insurance for 6 to 12 months, claiming that they have back problems. Who was on site? Paramedics. All three of these agencies are part of, they call it emergency agencies. Do you know that I had actually checked out a place? It was a really shitty bar. It was called a Cougar Bar. I don't know if this is true or not. I was told that it was a Cougar Bar. This bar, on every Wednesday night, they called it 911 night, and drinks were like $2 or something. And all the police, the paramedics, and the fire workers, the fire extinguisher workers, whatever you call them, fire department workers, they would all come in, they would have cheap drinks, they were fraternized, they would have sex with each other later on. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. Okay, let's take that out. Let's take the whole sex out of it. But what else would they were doing? Anyways, that's all I gotta say. And I'll come back with something at another point.